What is going on, guys? It is Wrestlelamia here, back with some more news. Join us now as we look at the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know, including whether Roman Reigns has replaced Brock Lesnar, New Jack may have disowned his sons for being a drag queen, could the Legend Killer be getting a new theme, someone tried to kidnap MJF, Eva Marie wants back into the WWE, and much more. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos, and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Our first story is a little bit of a weird one, but it's something that's never highlighted: New Jack's personal life, and whether he disowned his sons for being a drag queen. And New Jack is a controversial figure in professional wrestling. Wait a minute, who are we kidding? He's one of the most controversial figures in and out of professional wrestling. Now a man claiming to be New Jack's son is asserting that New Jack disowned him because the man performs as a drag queen named Washington Heights. This latest story only adds to the craziness fans have come to expect from New Jack, but it could also be completely bogus. Washington Heights recently tweeted, "My dad, New Jack from ECW, cut me out of his life 3 years ago because he didn't want his fans to know I'm a drag queen, and he didn't want Wikipedia posting anything about me. Clearly, he doesn't know how Wikipedia works. Anywho, I'm now an official editor for Wikipedia." Now that was definitely a plot twist in that tweet. Now this man is a popular drag performer who works under the name Washington Heights, and included an excerpt from New Jack's Wikipedia entry saying, "Young also has 5 children, one of which is a well-known drag queen in Baltimore named Washington Heights." Now the problem is when you go to New Jack's Wikipedia page, you'll find nothing matching the aforementioned Wikipedia entry as of 2nd September. Whether the page has been altered or the Washington Heights story is a publicity stunt remains to be seen. Regardless, it's something that we never hear about: New Jack's personal life, the man behind the psychopath in the ring. Next up is Randy Orton getting a new theme. Could Randy Orton be getting a new theme music? That's one takeaway some fans have had after the Legend Killer posted this mysterious message on Twitter. "It's finally happening." The Twitter post read, "It's finally happening." The message included a picture of a slithering snake with some new music. Could it be a tease of a new theme for the Viper? We hope not, because his current theme is still legendary. We hope he never changes it. Next up, Eva Marie wants to return to WWE. Eva Marie was interviewed by The Wrap about her performance in the upcoming movie Hard Kill, and talk turned to a possible return to the WWE. Eva Marie quickly rose to the main roster in WWE, debuting on Raw in 2013 after just 2 weeks of training. While it was certainly clear that she'd been rushed into the ring too soon, she would compete in the WWE until 2017, when she left to pursue outside projects including acting and fitness. She had this to say about a potential WWE return: "WWE is my number one, my home, my family. They prepared me for all the things I'm doing and what I want to do in my career. I'm forever grateful to the company, to Vince McMahon, Hunter, and Stephanie. If it made sense, of course I'd come back home." Eva said she still follows the WWE and had this to say about the Thunderdome: "The programming is sick. It's actually so cool, the virtual dynamic that they're doing and that 3D vibe on entrances. It's been really engaging. Given the WWE's reliance on nostalgia appearances, a brief run by Eva Marie shouldn't be ruled out." Now her fitness isn't going to be called into question, but before she does get back in the ring, she may want a little bit of training. But even if she hasn't, there's little doubt she'll do better than Lana. Next up, MJF tells the time that a fan tried to kidnap him. Maxwell Jacob Friedman is arguably All Elite Wrestling's top heel, and while other wrestlers such as Chris Jericho get over as cool heels, MJF goes out of his way to make the fans despise him. So much so that he's been attacked, threatened, and even faced being kidnapped. During a phone interview with the New York Post, MJF recalled, "At AEW, a fan tried to dress up, I believe, like a pilot, and I was trying to convince our security that they were supposed to fly me out on a private jet after the show. I can assure you that that guy was most certainly not my pilot, so there was once a fan who literally tried to kidnap me. I've seen it all. When I was in Mexico, people threw a car battery at me and urine at me. That's because I don't tiptoe around. I don't hide how I feel." Now MJF is always on his heel character whenever he's out in public, something fans have come to find out the hard way at autograph signings and personal appearances. The current #1 contender for the AEW World Heavyweight Championship wouldn't have it any other way. He mentioned, "Now whether that's negative or positive, it really doesn't matter to me. All that matters is the fact that I'm the first person people are thinking of when they wake up, and I'm the last person people are thinking of when they go to bed." While MJF's attempted abduction story may be him kayfabing reporters, there's no doubt that the 24-year-old is a heat magnet and quickly on his way to becoming one of the wrestling industry's best. Another interesting takeaway from MJF's interview with the Post was his statement concerning his future in AEW. Friedman spoke about stars who have worked in the WWE with Vince McMahon before coming to AEW and his own experiences. It's great that they've had their hand held sometimes by VKM, awesome, but I didn't. I didn't come from that product. I didn't come from that land. I am AEW born and bred. I will be AEW until I die. This is my company. This is where I started. This is the company that I'll end in. Do you think MJF will really be AEW for life? Sometimes those pays in WWE can turn some heads. Next up, why The Fiend only had a 7-day reign. The WWE Universe is still curious why The Fiend won the Universal Championship at SummerSlam only to lose it 7 days later to Roman Reigns. While The Fiend wasn't pinned, Braun Strowman counted the lights in the triple threat match, it was still an incredibly short reign that also angered The Fiend's fans, and according to Tom Colohue, that's exactly why the WWE did it. Speaking on the Dropkick Discussions podcast, he argued, as for why they gave The Fiend the title, they wanted the face to lose. You're supposed to hate Roman Reigns. They're genuinely worried now that they've made him a badass, everyone is going to cheer him. That's why in the Thunderdome, people were specifically instructed to boo Roman Reigns. According to Colohue, the WWE is hoping that the universe will cheer the recently turned Reigns just as they cheered Becky Lynch when the promotion turned her heel. If so, who does the WWE plan on having as its monster heel from SmackDown? Well, not Braun Strowman if the next following story is accurate, as his push could be over. Braun Strowman is coming off a 4-month reign as Universal Champion, but the monster among men's days at the top on SmackDown may be over. Tom Colohue discussed the situation on the Dropkick Discussions podcast, saying, "Next for Braun Strowman is down the card. He had a pretty good first title reign, it lasted 4 months. He only really feuded with Bray Wyatt. Yes, he had a match with The Miz and John Morrison, but he never really did much beyond that. For a first title reign, that's not bad, and there will be more in the future. He's shown that he can lead the company. Going forward, he'll be in the upper mid-card now, helping to put people over. We could see a feud with Biggie coming in the near future." Strowman's 4-month reign was the first time the big man enjoyed a sustained push as a top star on Raw or SmackDown. Although he's enjoyed some high-profile programs throughout his career, he's often been seen as an underachiever given his inability to win major championships. Not through any of his fault since wrestling has worked, but the perception was still there. Strowman's value has obviously risen due to his Universal Championship reign, and the WWE should use him to elevate new stars, but doing so without devaluing him. Braun is a talented performer who brings much to the table besides his size and power. He has undeniable charisma and is a star who should be kept in the upper card at least. Colohue discussed the change in SmackDown's babyface hierarchy, saying, "In Roman's absence, a lot of people were elevated. You see the rise of Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins in Roman's absence. You look at SmackDown now. Braun Strowman has taken that mantle, but he's been kicked down the road. The Fiend, he's not going to be the face, but when it comes to the depth charts we've heard about, the number one face of SmackDown is going to be The Fiend, and then in order, The Fiend, Jeff Hardy and Biggie has just overtaken Matt Riddle, who is now 4th. Definitely an interesting hierarchy, but keep in mind that things can change in a heartbeat in the WWE due to Mr. McMahon's ever-changing mind and the usual unexpected things in wrestling such as injuries." Next up, has Roman Reigns replaced Brock Lesnar? Another question to consider is whether Roman Reigns has replaced Brock Lesnar in light of Reigns' Universal Championship win, Paul Heyman's role as his advocate, and Reigns' supposed spot as SmackDown's top heel. Lesnar is off TV and no longer under contract to the WWE, but he's shown before he could easily return when the WWE feels he's needed. With no fans present, Mr. McMahon likely feels Lesnar is best used in front of a paying audience, and with Reigns working as a heel, and likely for less money with more appearances, there's no hurry to bring the Beast back just yet. And finally, a wild rumor as Retribution could be a Raw exclusive. Now, a number of news sites are reporting that the WWE's new faction Retribution are exclusive to Raw, and while we're a little skeptical of this, we felt that you should hear what people are saying. Post Wrestling's John Pollock recently noted that one source noted to us that Retribution is expected to only appear on Raw moving forward. Keep in mind that no other news sites, including Post Wrestling, have followed up on the story, so we're categorizing this as a wild rumor. It certainly makes no sense for the group to be only on one brand, but then again, repeated stories have mentioned that Vince McMahon is booking this storyline on the fly, so who knows, the men and women in black could join the SmackDown hacker for all we know. But there you have it guys, the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know. Be sure to leave your comments down below, subscribe if you haven't already, follow us on Instagram and Facebook for exclusive lists, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.